Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. Today I've got something a little bit different for you. Rather than delve into the spells and curses from the Harry Potter universe that most of us already know so well, I thought I'd cross the barrier into a whole other world of magic. Magic that's been right in front of us for thousands of years. This video marks the first in a series where I'll be highlighting magic from the real world, taking a closer look at spells, curses, and enchantments from civilizations all around the globe. Starting today, join me as we embark on a captivating journey to the land of the Nile, where the ancient Egyptian civilization flourished with its enigmatic and mystical practices. Here, we'll dive into the fascinating world of ancient Egyptian magic, exploring the spells, curses, and rituals that played an integral role in the lives of these remarkable people. From the Grand Pyramids to the mysterious Sphinx, the ancient Egyptians were masters of harnessing the powers of the universe, intertwining their daily lives with the mystical forces that surrounded them. Through the use of sacred texts, intricate rituals, and powerful incantations, they sought to communicate with the gods, protect their people, and ensure their passage into the afterlife. As we attempt to unravel the secrets of ancient Egyptian magic, we'll dive deep into their spiritual practices and uncover the profound wisdom that has captivated the imaginations of scholars and enthusiasts alike for centuries. Prepare to be mesmerized by the enchanting tales of love spells, healing incantations, and curses that have echoed through the sands of time, revealing the extraordinary legacy of a civilization that continues to captivate our hearts and minds. Without further ado, let us embark on this enthralling expedition into the magical realm of ancient Egypt and uncover the mysteries that have captivated the world for millennia. I also happen to have quite an intriguing and relatively unknown piece of information about ancient Egyptian civilization within the Harry Potter universe, so keep an eye out for that as well. Heka. First things first, what was magic to the ancient Egyptians? In the enchanting world of ancient Egyptian civilization, the mystical art of magic was known as Heka, a sacred practice deeply rooted in Egyptian culture that encompassed all manners of rituals, spells, and supernatural powers. The term Heka can be deciphered as activating the Ka, where the Ka symbolizes the vital force or spiritual essence believed to dwell within every individual. While introducing magic from the Egyptian perspective, it's crucial to recognize that the ancient Egyptians did not distinguish between magic and religion as separate entities. They believed that magic was an inherent aspect of the natural and supernatural order, deeply interwoven with their religious beliefs and practices. This vastly differs from the world of Harry Potter, which looks at magic from a more secular, science-based perspective. Heka was perceived as a divine force that pervaded the cosmos, wielded by both celestial beings and mortals alike. The ancient Egyptians believed that through the proper comprehension and application of Heka, individuals could exert influence over the natural and supernatural realms, manipulating the forces of nature, healing maladies, providing protection, and even controlling or influencing the actions of gods and spirits. The practitioners of Heka were a diverse group, including priests, scribes, and individuals possessing specialized knowledge of magical spells and rituals. Heka was intimately linked with religious practices, and numerous magical rituals were performed within the hallowed halls of temples or during significant religious ceremonies. Spells and incantations were often inscribed and preserved on papyri, which were consulted and utilized by those seeking magical aid. Gods and goddesses. Central to ancient Egyptian magic was their pantheon of gods and goddesses, each possessing unique attributes and powers. These divine beings were believed to govern various aspects of life, such as love, fertility, protection, and the afterlife. The Egyptians sought to communicate with their deities through prayer, offerings, and rituals, hoping to gain favor and guidance in their daily lives. Some of the most prominent gods and goddesses included Isis, the goddess of magic and healing, Osiris, the god of the afterlife, and Thoth, the god of wisdom and writing. Because each member of the Egyptian pantheon represented a different aspect of existence, magic varied depending on which god or goddess was invoked. If you wanted healing spells, it's likely that you would invoke the goddess Isis. If you wanted spells related to bountiful harvests and fertility, you'd invoke the god Min. And if you wanted spells related to love and relationships, you'd invoke the goddess Hathor. Of course, these are just a few examples. Sacred texts. Ancient Egyptians believed in the power of the written word, and many of their magical practices were recorded in sacred texts, such as the Book of the Dead, an ancient Egyptian funerary text. These texts contain spells, incantations, and rituals designed to aid the living and the deceased in their quests for protection, prosperity, and eternal life. The spells were often inscribed on papyrus scrolls or etched onto tomb walls, ensuring their potency and longevity. Rituals and incantations. The practice of magic in ancient Egypt involved a combination of rituals, incantations, and the use of magical objects. Rituals were performed to invoke the powers of the gods, summon protective spirits, and even repel malevolent forces. Incantations, often spoken or chanted in the ancient Egyptian language, were believed to hold immense power, capable of influencing the world around them. Magical objects such as amulets, talismans, and figurines were used to harness and focus the magical energies invoked by the rituals and incantations. In this way, we can clearly see how the wizarding world was modeled on existing magical civilizations. Everyday spells. Magic in ancient Egypt was not solely reserved for grand ceremonies or divine communication. It also played a vital role in the everyday lives of the people. Much like the witches and wizards that frequent Diagon Alley in Harry Potter, magic was ever present, an abundant phenomenon that impacted every aspect of their lives. Because of this, many forms of magic were used on a consistent basis by the Egyptian people, ingrained into fundamental aspects of society. Healing spells were used to cure ailments and injuries. Protection spells were employed to safeguard individuals, their homes, and their possessions from harm, and fertility spells were invoked to ensure successful pregnancies and bountiful harvests. Each of these practical applications of magic demonstrate the deep connection between the ancient Egyptians and the mystical forces that governed their world. Examples of spells and curses. With the history of magic in Egyptian civilization established, let's next dive into some examples of the more prevalent spells and curses in their society. Before we dive into these examples, however, I'd like to remind you that ancient Egyptian spells derived their power largely from the written word, often inscribed on papyri or etched onto tomb walls. This deviates quite heavily from what we're used to in Harry Potter, where spells have everything to do with the individual casting the spell, the object with which the spell is being cast, i.e. wand, and often, but not always, the appropriate verbal incantation. In this sense, I think it's fair to say that Egyptian spells had a bit of a different use case. Spells in ancient Egyptian civilization were less preoccupied with basic tasks yielding immediate results, and instead geared more towards a larger objective or desire. Divination spell. The divination spell was used to gain insight into the future, often utilized by those hoping to seek guidance on important matters. The god invoked for this spell was Thoth, who is associated with wisdom, writing, and divination. The incantation is as follows. Thoth, Lord of knowledge and master of the divine words, I seek your wisdom. Reveal to me the secrets hidden in the fabric of time. Let your divine knowledge flow through me and guide me to the truth. Snake protection spell. The snake protection spell was used to ward off snake bites and protect against venomous serpents, creatures that were quite prolific in ancient Egypt. The god invoked for this particular spell was Horus, who is associated with protection and healing. The incantation is as follows. I am Horus, the great falcon upon the ramparts. I see the hidden serpent and I destroy the enemy with my fiery eye. I am the protector of Ra and the avenger of the gods. Let the serpent be destroyed before me. If only Harry had access to this in Chamber of Secrets. Prosperity spell. The spell of prosperity was used by those hoping to attract wealth and abundance. The god invoked for this particular spell was Osiris, who is associated with fertility, regeneration, and the afterlife. The incantation is as follows. Osiris, Lord of abundance and renewal, I beseech you for your blessings. Let wealth flow to me like the Nile's fertile waters. Grant me prosperity and success in all my endeavors. May my life be filled with abundance and good fortune. Curse against illness. This curse was used to curse and banish a specific illness or affliction. The god invoked for this particular spell was Isis, who is associated with healing and protection. The incantation is as follows: Isis, compassionate healer, I implore your aid. I curse this affliction that plagues my body, banishing it from my being. With your divine power, restore me to health and vitality. May your healing touch be upon me. One other notable healing spell comes from the Edwin Smith Papyrus, which contains a compilation of medical spells and treatments. O Isis, great enchantress, free me. Drive out all the fever which consumes me, the evil breath which attacks me. As you remove pain, so remove their sickness, for they are yours. Binding spell. Binding spells were used to restrict the actions or influence of a person or entity. The god invoked for this type of spell was typically Thoth. An example of a binding spell from the Demotic Magical Papyrus reads, I bind your mouth, I bind your hands, I bind your feet, I bind your actions, and I bind your magic. You shall not harm, you shall not speak, you shall not move, you shall not enchant. Curse for enemies. This curse was used to bring harm or misfortune to one's enemies or adversaries. The deity invoked for such a curse was the goddess Sekhmet, who was associated with vengeance and destruction. The incantation is as follows: Sekhmet, mighty lioness, hear my plea. Unleash your fury upon those who have wronged me. May their hearts be filled with terror, their plans crumble to dust, and their actions bear the weight of your wrath. Protection spell. There were a lot of different protection spells in ancient Egyptian civilization. Most of them can be found in both the coffin texts as well as the Book of the Dead. However, the protection spell that I want to highlight today is as follows. O mighty one who made himself into the great Ennead, open your mouth against my enemies who have done evil against me, and let them not escape from your mouth. This spell references a general invocation of the deities who comprise the Ennead, a group of 9 major gods in Egyptian mythology. These gods included deities like Atum, Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Nut, Osiris, Isis, Seth, and Nephthys. The spell seeks to enlist the assistance and divine intervention of these powerful gods to open their mouths against the enemies and prevent them from escaping the consequences of their actions. The exact deity invoked may have varied depending on the personal preference or belief of the individual casting the curse. Sharpy spell. The sharpy spell found in the coffin texts was employed to animate a sharpy, a small figurine crafted to perform tasks for the deceased in the afterlife. These miniature figurines would undertake any necessary manual labor or tasks on behalf of the deceased in the realm of the dead. A few different gods were invoked with this spell. The first was Ptah, the creator god and patron of artisans. Ptah was closely associated with the creation and enchantment of these magical figurines. The second was Osiris, ruler of the underworld and judge of the dead. Osiris was closely associated with the afterlife and the concept of rebirth. The incantation is as follows: O Sharpty, if I be called or if I be detailed to do any work which has to be done in the realm of the dead, here am I when ye call. As far as spells go, I'm going to stop there. However, what I want to emphasize is that the spells I've mentioned so far don't even begin to scratch the surface of what was possible in ancient Egyptian civilization. It seems like there were a vast number of options for nearly every use case that invoked a wide variety of different gods. Looking at magic in ancient Egypt more broadly, these common spell categories included things like burial spells, love spells, protection spells, healing spells, fertility spells, prosperity spells, communication spells, and curses. I think it's safe to say that the magical practices of ancient Egypt have left an indelible mark on our understanding of their enigmatic civilization. Through their intricate rituals, powerful incantations, and divine connections, the ancient Egyptians have woven a tapestry of mysticism and wisdom that continues to captivate the world. Intrigued by the rich history of ancient Egyptian civilization and its profound roots in magic, J.K. Rowling even bestowed the honor and title of first ever wizard in Harry Potter canon to an Egyptian wizard by the name of Jajamanek. While we have little information on Jajamanek, we do know that he existed as far back as 2600 BC. The magic of ancient Egypt offers us a glimpse into a unique world where the divine and mortal realms are intertwined, and it's certainly no surprise to me that J.K. Rowling would have been heavily inspired by this captivating civilization. Hopefully you enjoyed this slightly different style of video. I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. What ancient civilization next? What type of magic? Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live.